Special. Fishing the transition for walleye. Catfish baits. A profile on muskie legend Len Hartman. Management options, quality versus quantity. Strategies on how to pick a good bass lake. And flats fishing for tarpon. You won't want to miss a minute.
Larry Gatlin and the Gatlin brothers, Jimmy Dean, and Holly Dunn open their homes and their lives to Lori Ann Crook on Celebrities Offstage. Thursday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern on TNN.
Get your pencil ready. Here comes a toll-free number for a free catalog on the Trailblazer Sickle Bar Mower from Troy-Bilt. Ordinary lawnmowers can only mow your manicured front lawn, but the Trailblazer mows off your lawn, giving you control of your entire property, even your most impossible areas. Now you can neatly maintain walls and fences, quickly eliminate brush around outbuildings, easily carve out safe fire breaks and paths, even keep streams and ponds open, beautiful, and useful. Trailblazer actually slices through weeds and brush like a hot knife through butter. You'll even topple brush and saplings up to 1/2 inch thick. And with high traction powered wheels, steep hills are no problem. Call now for a free catalog and full details on a special limited time savings offer. For free information on the off-lawn Trailblazer Sickle Bar Mower, call toll-free 1-800-922-4900. That's 1-800-922-4900. Please call now. Operators are standing by.
The great Don McLean on Classic Rock with Wolfman Jack, Friday.
Today, we're on the Potomac River in Charles County, Maryland, just a few short miles downstream from the nation's capital. Now, this is a kickoff for the Bassmasters Top 100 Pro-Am Tournament Trail. And I guarantee you the action is fast and the weather wild, complete with hurricanes and smashing cold fronts. I'm Ray Scott for the Bassmasters. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
They say this is where the big ones come for breakfast. They say this here spinner will have them jumping in the boat. Well, they convinced me. Now all they got to do is convince the fish.
Wouldn't it be nice if everything else were as dependable as your Johnson outboard?
When the weather suddenly takes a turn for the worse. When each wave seems a little larger than the last. And when it's a little farther back to that sheltered cove than you remembered. Aren't you glad you're running a Ranger? Ranger boats, you're the reason. We still build them one at a time.
When the fishing gets rugged, you'd better have the right line that holds up. Stren from DuPont. It's made for the most grueling fishing conditions anywhere. Stren from DuPont. With strength that will survive all the nicks, scrapes, and shocks any fish can throw at you. Stren from DuPont. Your choice of lines with strength you can count on. Stren from DuPont.
Humminbird does it again. TCR, the first high-definition depth sounders. With 455 kilohertz, you actually see more fish in more detail, and even in red. Take control with 7 simple buttons. Just snap the TCR into place. This all-new unit design mounts almost anywhere, and the compact TCR sensor makes transducers obsolete. TCR, absolutely brilliant technology from Humminbird.
The mighty Potomac River, gateway to the nation's capital, just a few miles upstream from Charles County, Maryland. Scattered up and down this river are 100 top bass pros and 100 amateurs, lucky enough to be drawn for this $230,000 competition. It's the kickoff for the Bass Angler Sportsman Society's Top 100 Trail, and for many pros, the start of their Bassmasters Classic goal. Qualifying for the World Championship this season is different. Pros may fish either the BASS Invitational Trail, the Top 100 Tour, or both. 20 anglers from the Invitational route advance to the Classic, and 15 pros from the Top 100 Trail will earn invitations to the World Finals scheduled in mid-August on the James River near Richmond, Virginia. 5 other qualifiers come from the BASS Federation to round out the 40-man field. While the Potomac is a fertile bass fishery, the Charles County, Maryland area too is rich in historic sites. Like St. Ignatius Catholic Church, the oldest active parish with a continued pastorate, founded in 1642. And General William Smallwood's Retreat, where Revolutionary War notables met, including George Washington. Washington's Mount Vernon is also part of this tidewater community. But in this first ever BASS Potomac tournament, these Bassmasters are more intent on making history than reliving it. And since this river was cleaned up and the grass came, it's become a bass factory. In fact, locals claim it's the best bassin anywhere. This lunker that Tennessee's Mike Bartlett is fighting is proof there's big-headed bass here. The spinnerbait caught bass will weigh in at 5 pounds 4 ounces, largest for this first day's competition. The Top 100 format pairs a professional with an amateur. The pro decides where to fish and operates the boat. His partner must fish from the back. The bass are biting, as Texas Bassmaster John Hale knows. He caught his 5 bass daily limit quickly and is now culling smaller bass. Now it's weigh-in time at Charles County Smallwood Park, and a well-known pro comes to the scales.
Now, with a limited bass, Paul Elias of Mississippi, Laurel, Mississippi, with a limited bass, solid catch. Isn't it amazing? You could drop them off in Russia, just outside the Kremlin, find a wet spot, and they catch a bass. Amazing. Reading Bassmaster really pays off. 17 pounds and 3 ounces. Folks, we have a new leader, and what a leader. Bingo. Paul Elias.
The first day's competition is over, and Mississippi's Paul Elias is at the top. But 3 more days remain to determine the $45,000 winner. Besides history and fishing, there's another reason to visit this tidewater area, Maryland's famous steamed crabs. One of the popular stops is Captain Billy's Crab House near the Potomac. And today, Captain Billy Robertson himself does the fixin'.
Okey-dokey. Most of these here are out of this wicket. All nice fat-sized crabs. One of them's trying to keep me holding on.
And into the steamer they go. And now the seasoning.
This is the seasoning that we use to cook our crab with, special prepared for us.
The crabs will steam for about 20 to 30 minutes.
Cook our crab with.
And now they're ready.
Crab down the ready to go there now. What we want to do is start assorting the larger size as we get orders for. We're getting this done in the crab here now to go. This lady getting these crabs will enjoy these here.
Captain Billy steams some crabs for our Bassmasters television crew.
All right, fellas. Here they are.
Question is, though, how to eat the critters. Here's how, Maryland style.
All right. Tom, you get one off here. All right? Yeah, you pick that one right there. Okay, everybody get a crab here now. All right. Now, this is the lesson of starting right off to pull it back off of here. Hey, wedge like.
Oh, I got you.
Just pull it right off.
I got you.
Okay. Now.
The Bassmasters will be right back from Charles County, Maryland, and the Top 100 Pro-Am. Don't go away.
See how Tom's doing here.
You know, my idea of the perfect bait casting reel is one that casts with no effort at all. Line peels off the spool like it's in perpetual motion. Now, I've never fished with a reel quite like that, but this new Ambassador XLT comes mighty close. In fact, I believe I can cast farther with this reel than any I've ever fished with before. Just imagine what this would do on a fishing rod.
The last reported sighting was in this area.
Oh, there it is now! Look at it! Oh, how wonderful and rare! An actual weedless trolling motor! Stay with her. That's it. Yes! Oh, to know they do exist, they do! Oh, she's gone now. Oh, but how wonderful and rare.
The Ninja Prop, only on Motor Guide.
When it comes to fishing, everything's got to be just right, from what goes on the end of my line to what goes in the bottom of my boat. For me, that's Delco Voyager batteries with built-in charge indicators. Deep cycling and high cranking the whole time I'm out.
Delco Voyager batteries. Deep cycling, high cranking.
No other batteries get on board my boat. For the AC Delco retailer nearest you, just give me a call at 1-800-AC-DELCO.
Hi, I'm Kurt Gowdy, and if you love fishing as much as I do, then the new Bass Pro Shop Spring Fever Sale Catalog is a must. It puts you right in the middle of the largest selection of name brand fishing and sporting goods at the lowest prices anywhere. What's new? What's hot? It's all here. Just call 1-800-BASS-PRO and get your money-saving copy absolutely free. And you don't even have to get out of your easy chair.
Day 2 of the Maryland Top 100 Pro-Am. The weather is forecast to be good, and the bass are biting. During this late September tournament, topwater lures are effective, but not all the bass are big enough to take a trip to the scales, as Missouri pro Stacy King well knows.
I can get those guys in.
John Hale in second place this morning is catching bass, and his are tournament size, 12 inches or longer. He's been fishing topwaters when the tide is low and the vegetation heavily matted on top. As the tide comes in and covers the thick weeds, he switches to plastic worms. And how's tournament leader Paul Elias doing?
Here, fishy fish. Woo, woo, woo. Golly, he bit it. Why was not he there? That was a perch. But he knocked slack in the line.
The anglers are scattered up and down the Potomac, clear to Washington, D.C. For those not doing so well, like Paul Elias, there's hope for a better tomorrow. But this local weed control activity might prove a big problem in Paul's strategy. His fish holding structure is being mowed down. There's also a different fly in tomorrow's catch-up ointment, an approaching hurricane called Hugo. The forecast isn't good, but there's fish to weigh in today.
3 ounces, folks. Let's give a nice hand. And John Hale, that's going to put you in the lead. Now, what happens tomorrow if it storms?
Well, if the with the rotation of the hurricane, that wind probably come out of the southeast. If it's east-southeast, I can fish. If it's anything from south, southwest, west, it'd be pretty tough. I've got some other areas that I haven't touched. I fished the same little area for 2 days. It's got a lot of fish. I had on about 20 fish today, and I only put 7 in the boat, fishing some thick moss, and I don't know. It's just losing a lot of big fish.
And now this morning's leader weighs in.
Paul Elias with 17 pounds and 3 ounces yesterday brings in another limited bass today. And it appears they're going to be good fish. Whether he can hold the lead will be determined by just how the ounces and pounds drop. And with Drain the Water, he has 5 bass, not as heavy by far as yesterday, but I suspect he's going to have close to 10 pounds. Watch the scales. 12 pounds and 2 ounces, and I believe that's going to put you just out of the lead. Am I correct, Bob Cobb? Now, what's going to happen tomorrow with the storm?
The wind's going to blow.
Yeah, 20 to 40, maybe more.
I don't know. I'm going to go fishing and catch some more fish. It was tough today for me. I only got 8 bites all day.
What happened to your fishing spot today?
Well, it wasn't like my wife. When I go back home, my wife's home, but my fish wasn't. But no, there's some guy out there that's got some kind of grass baler, and he's running through our area a little bit there, and he said he's going to mow it down tomorrow, so I don't know what's going to happen. But I guess it's some kind of contractor that's plowing up grass, and it's not very good. It's not too good a deal for me.
What happens tomorrow depends on what happens with Hurricane Hugo's path. And these Bassmasters will be glued to the television tonight.
It's expected to turn Hugo north over land. Forecasters here expect the hurricane to move through the Carolinas to Washington, past Philadelphia, over New York, and back out to sea through Cape Cod.
The Bassmasters will be right back from the BASS Top 100 at Charles County, Maryland. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Denny Brower. Last year, Lunker Lure Products introduced the Denny Brower Perfect Jig. What you're hearing now is the all-new Rattleback jig with a built-in sound chamber. There's never been anything like this. You can hear it as far as 20 foot away. No telling how far a bass can hear it. Whoa, look out! Rattleback jigs and Denny Brower Perfect jigs. You better get a bunch of these.
As you can see in today's show, chasing the elusive black bass is a terrific challenge. So if you want to catch big bass like the pros are doing here, you need to join the Bass Anglers Sportsman Society. We'll help you meet the challenges of today's bass fishing, and as a member, you'll get 10 big issues a year of Bassmaster magazine. Each issue is packed with bass tips and techniques on how and where to catch bass. Plus, you get a membership packet with your own membership card, decal, handbook, and embroidered patch. So join now by calling toll-free during this special TV offer. And I'll send you also a big bonus tackle pack with Man's New Rat topwater bait, Man Alive weedless lure, a pack of auger tail worms, and a spool of Berkeley Trilene XT solar line. A total value of $9.95, and it's yours free with your $15 paid Bass membership. So call now, toll-free, 1-800-543-1500. That's 1-800-543-1500. Call now.
It's been a long night for BASS Tournament Director Dewey Kendrick and his staff. What to do in the face of Hurricane Hugo? As competitors ready for today's fishing, ears are tuned to the weather.
I'd love to compete, but I think if it's in fear of life or obviously, you know, the high winds and stuff, I think it should be at least delayed or maybe just called off.
And some, like veteran pro Rick Clunn, make their feelings known.
I may show a little inconsistency. You know, my opinion about canceling tournaments, I think we shouldn't do it. But I'm going to show a little bit of inconsistency here because that's under conditions that most of us have dealt with for 15 years, like cold fronts and things like that. This is not a cold front. This is a hurricane, and very few of us have fished in a hurricane. So.
Although Dewey Kendrick must make the final decision to cancel today's competition, the BASS Tournament Advisory Board is consulted.
The latest forecast now, they got a small craft advisory on the Potomac, 3+ feet of surges for the tide this afternoon starting before 2 o'clock. They're calling for 50+ mile-an-hour winds. Okay, we got 200 lives out there. I would not call the whole tournament because tomorrow they're looking at 15 mile-an-hour to 20 mile-an-hour winds. but I want everyone in here because it's y'all's lives. Y'all the one that, you know, if you've ever been in 50-mile-an-hour winds on the water, you know what to expect.
One day of fishing is not worth it from my standpoint. I would like to fish, but I just think it would be a bad deal to turn all these guys loose out there. It's going to be bad, like Clun said. We don't know what the tides and all of the hard rain. You're not even going to be able to see. If you can't see, you can't fight waves.
I don't think we ought to risk anybody's life to go out there and fish, regardless of money or
I
whatever.
think this is part of the sport now. We got to be careful about people's lives. There's too many people involved in it.
You know, I don't feel like we should go. It's not worth one life. Now, we know about cold fronts, and we know how to handle 20, 25, 30-mile-an-hour winds. But I'm going to tell you, gentlemen, 50-mile-an-hour winds with gusts to 70 is what they're saying.
I don't want to go out there and, you know, I want to go somewhere today that it might get real bad and can't get home. And I don't feel like putting my amateur in, you know, in a situation that he don't want to be in. And I don't want to be put in a situation of trying to get back from beaching the boat.
I'm going to make a decision, but I want you to support me and I want you to back me up on it.
I think all of us are behind you. Anybody who's got any brains at all, I think, will behind you anyway.
The schools have been canceled, and it is a unanimous decision with the advisory board that we cancel today.
There's a whole lot more at stake here than who wins this tournament. I mean, there could be lives endangered, and the National Weather Service has issued warnings, and I think it's only wise to heed to those warnings.
This tournament day is history, but the forecast doesn't materialize as Hurricane Hugo steers northwest away from the Potomac. However, there's still one day left. The final round. The forecast, light to moderate winds with a cold front expected this afternoon. While some anglers are catching bass, like Tennessee Bassmaster Glenn Pfeiffer and Oklahoma pro Tommy Biffle, others are having problems. Angler of the Year Gary Klein has moved upriver to near the end of the Washington National Airport runway, but that's not working either. 1988 Bassmasters Classic champion Guido Hibden climbed from 16th to 4th, and here's what he's doing.
I just been fishing these pads at there's a shallow bunch of pads here, and it's got 7-8 foot of water that runs right up to it. The boat's setting in 7 or 8 foot, and it just tapers right up to it. Been catching the fish. They've been about a foot on the inside of the pads, but that mud has moved in here now where I don't know. They might have moved on back here in the creek. They've moved some, I'm sure. I've been using a 5/16 Stanley jig with a Guido Bug crawdad on it, and just basically fishing real slow, trying to get it in front of one.
There's no question Guido has the right stuff when it's come from behind time. The bass bite, but as the day progresses, the weather changes. The wind blows harder and harder, turning the river into an ocean. Even here in the protected area of Smallwood Park, fishermen are having problems as the final weigh-in begins.
Mr. Talon is a man you perhaps remember that invented the rat that you saw on television that sold so many million lures. Here he is, and look at his weight. 12 pounds, 5 ounces, mark it.
Not yet, don't count them. Hold the fish.
Huh?
You know about them little chickens and the eggs?
How's that?
You don't count them.
Don't count them till it's over.
That's right.
All right, well, you've got a beautiful bunch of fish.
Hold the fish up.
Pull a couple of these big bass up. These are beautiful fish. Lord, you've done yourself proud for the folks at Alabama. Hey, y'all folks, let's hear it.
Now Louisiana pro Jack Haynes, who started in 10th place this morning.
He was in 10th place. Jack Haynes has 5 bass, all alive, a good weight it is. 12 pounds, 4 ounces. Let's give Jack Haynes a good hand. Let's go put him up there. Good going, Jack.
The wind blows and the rains come as Guido Hibden weighs in.
Come in the house with warm. Folks, it's Guido Hibden. Your full ass angler of the year. Look at this beautiful catch, folks. 14 pounds, 9 ounces. Mark it, 14.9. 14.9. Now, this puts you in the lead, Guido. Step up here, and I want you to pick up a couple of these fish and talk to me. Now, listen, you had the toughest conditions I think I've ever recalled in any tournament. With Hugo blowing on both sides, and how in the world did you manage to catch these fish?
I had one little old spot. I just stayed with them and just kind of hammered them out.
What lure are you using?
I was using a 5/16 black and blue Lonnie Stanley jig and a Guido bug.
And that was it. How many fish did you catch total? You've got a total of 5 here, of course.
I had 7 that I caught today. It just, I didn't think I was going to be able to get back where I was fishing at.
How far were you from here?
About 8 miles, but it's all open water. And it was tough. There was waves out there I've never seen before.
I tell you, that ranger pulled you through, didn't it?
That 390 will do it every time.
Oh, beautiful boat. That's a great catch. Congratulations for your lead. You may win this tournament.
Thank you.
All right. Nice hand, folks. Guido Hibden.
This top 100 is over. There's only one item left on the agenda.
This one goes to a man that's just like everybody in this crowd sort of dreamed of making a living. Or even surviving would have been a bargain in the days when we all dreamed about getting into fishing full time, just getting by. But he's done more than getting by. He's won 2 of our previous Bassmaster Classic tournaments, and that wasn't enough. Just last year, that 13, 14 months ago, he won the Bassmaster Classic in Richmond, Virginia. And here, in the shadow of those victories and the glories and all the greatness that goes with it, goes another victory. And for that, we want to salute our winner of this tournament, Mr. Guido Hibden. Let's have a nice hand for Guido. Guido, bless you, boy. You have a check for, you've got 43 pounds and 13 ounces, a check for $25,000, and the rest is
a Ranger 374 valued at $20,000, so it's $45,000 first place. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Well, I tell you what, it's like Ray said, you know, I've been very fortunate in this sport. I was fortunate enough to win the Classic last year, and I kind of been on a roll here lately. You know, I've been a fishing good. I haven't been losing too many fish. So I went through that for a while, and I kind of quit thinking about it and started just fishing hard. That's all I've been doing. We're all very fortunate. I thank the God that all of us got in today, you know, because I come through some water that I couldn't believe that anybody could come through.
Right now, it's time for the Pros Pointer, the how-to section of the Bassmasters. Brought to you by Wrangler, the most comfortable jeans known to man.
I guess the age-old question is when you use pork and when you use plastic. And I'm not real sure that I have a real good answer. I guess in the wintertime, you know, the old myth has always been you use pork, you know, in the wintertime when the water is cold. And I still use pork a good bit, but I use the Guido bug probably more than I do any. And the competition level anymore, you know, is getting so stiff that you have to use some sort of bait to catch bigger fish. You know, that's while we've been sitting here talking, this frog is already drying out. The tails get real stiff on them. And that's one thing that you don't have to never worry about whenever you use a plastic trailer, because they'll stay soft all the time.
It's great. They fixed up that old truck and went out for their big driving lesson. You know, they'll never forget this day as long as they live.
Here's to fathers and sons, first-time driving lessons and comfortable blue jeans. Wrangler.
With an invitational and a top 100 tournament under his belt, Guido Hibden is a man in front of the field for this year's Bass Angler of the Year race. And next week, you'll see a great show as all-time bass money winner Larry Nixon shows you how to approach and prepare to fish an unfamiliar lake. And then he'll take you to fishing on his home lake in Arkansas under some of the toughest and worst conditions imaginable. But he catches fish, and he shows you the patterns that paid off. I'm Ray Scott. The Bassmasters will be back next week.
The Bassmasters has been brought to you by Johnson Outboards. Wouldn't it be nice if everything else were as dependable as your Johnson outboard? Ranger Boats. We still build them one at a time. DuPont Power Lines. Stren, Prime Plus, New Magnathen, and Magnum 1440. Humminbird. Absolutely brilliant technology. Abu Garcia, the world's finest fishing tackle. Motor Guide, the choice of serious fishermen. Delco Voyager Marine Batteries, deep cycling, maintenance-free. Bass Pro Shops, world's largest supplier of premium tackle. Lunker Lure Products, manufacturer of the original buzzbait. Wrangler, the most comfortable jeans known to man. And the Bass Angler Sportsman Society, the world's largest bass fishing organization.
You're watching TNN.
It's Tracker's Bass Boat Blowout. Save up to $1,000 on remaining 1989 Tracker bass boats, pontoons, and runabouts. Now is the time to buy a new Tracker boat at low year-end clearance prices. Buy now and there's no monthly payment for up to 90 days from date of purchase. Quantities are limited, so hurry and beat the 1990 prices now at your nearby Tracker dealer. For a free catalog, including a list of the dealer nearest you, call 1-800-BASS-PRO.
Hello there, folks. If you like to ski or want to learn, have we got a contest for you. It's our 4th annual Ski Rendezvous for Two contest. You could win a trip for two to beautiful Crested Butte, Colorado. To enter, send a postcard with your name and address to World of White, P.O. Box 12, Nashville, Tennessee, 37202. Enter by February 10th, and you may be a lucky skier. For more details about the contest, watch me on Country Clips Saturday right here on TNN.
Sawyer Brown stars on Nashville Now, Tuesday on TNN.
Florida is one great place to relax and enjoy some of America's peaceful outdoors. But that's about to change for our friend, Hank Parker.
I got him, I think. I got him stuck.
Today, Hank tries his hand shiner fishing for largemouth bass.
Oh, no. Tell you something that I've picked up on this year is colored worm hooks. You know,
also on today's show, one of Hank's tricks of the trade.
Color worms on the market, umpteen. I couldn't even start to name how many different color plastic worms there is on the market. But most of your hooks are either brown or gold, and they stand out like a sore thumb. And I like to use a big worm hook. I use a lot of 4/0 and 5/0 hooks. I think you get a better bite on the fish. So I like a big hook, but it stands out pretty bad. This year, we've got a company, Mustad, came out with a colored worm hook.
And a little later, smallmouth adventure.
Whoa! Looks good. Well, this is no fun, you know.
Hank and friend and guide Jim Hanley are on the Great Lake of Lake Erie.
Chunky little fish you got there, huh? Oh, man. No fun at all.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hi, this is Hank. Sorry I missed your call. Leave me your name and your number and I'll get back to you.
He's gone fishing. Hank Parker's Outdoor Magazine, featuring the only sportsman to ever win the BASS Triple Crown, including not just one, but 2 classic championships. The coveted Bass Angler of the Year title and winner of Super Bass 4.
I don't know how I'm talking on this telephone, Angie, but this is your husband. If you remember what I look like, I hadn't been home in so long. But I'm standing on the stage here looking out at about 1,000 people at Super Bass, and I just won the tournament.
Hank's Show is brought to you in part by Delco Voyager Marine Batteries, deep cycling and maintenance free, and by Humminbird, absolutely brilliant technology.
Boy, that's exciting, isn't it? All I did, I saw that coming. I took that shiner and I flipped it up in there. Pretty nice bass. Big shiner. Boy, that's fun now. That's something new to me. I'm learning something. That might be one of Roland Martin's tricks. Just take that shiner. I'm gonna put him over here where I can get him away from a little area there. Just take that shiner and flip him right there. I think he worked on my shiner. Nice big one right there. Come on, man. Big one. Come here, big boy. Show you how I'm hooking these shiners. Now, isn't that a good one? One trick that I always do, of course, is sharpen the hook razor sharp. Sharpen it up. Put it right through his little lip. I'm back in the ball game. I'm gonna get back on my little break. That worked pretty good though. Those hyphens were the only structure in the water that I saw, so I just eased in here and took my bobber off and flipped it right up there into the hyphens, and it paid off. Come in here, little boy. How about that? Foul hooked him. He swirled at my little bait. You know, this is kind of fun to be down here in Florida in the warm sunshine. Finally got warm. It started out this morning awful cool. But right now it's pretty warm when you get over here out of the wind. That wind's cold, but you get on this lead side, out of the wind, put you out a shiner or two, kind of drag them behind the boat, fish your little bait. Little stick bait, just kind of twitch it along, having a big time. Whole lot better than hitting your golf balls in the sand trap up in the woods, working up a sweat rolling a bowling ball. I think a whole lot worse thing. But you know, when it is cold like this and you have a cold front, I shouldn't say cold, because the actual air temperature is really not that cold right now. You really need to fish very deliberate, very slow, like this little stick bait. Now that fish hit, I just kind of twitching the bait along. But 2 things here, really. You've got these cold front conditions, and you got this real low water, which makes the fish spooky because they don't have cover to hide behind. So they're not nearly as aggressive, and it's a lot easier to intimidate these fish than normal. So. The cold front really puts them pretty well in a lethargic state, and then the low water puts them in a terrified state almost. So it's really important to fish under these kind of conditions very, very deliberate, very slow, not too erratic. And there's a little fish chasing that bait right there. Little shiner's getting excited. And yeah, I got something happening with my shiner back there. You just keep working at it. You see what's happening with my little shiner. You just keep working at it till you figure out what's going on. Yeah, I got a good shiner bite back there. There he goes. There he goes. Goes my bobber. I got him, I think. Yeah. I got him stuck. So I can get him to the boat. All right. Not a giant. All right. But he's a nice fish. And I'll take him. Oh, come in here, big boy. Slow as it's been, I'll take him. I tell you, we're doing something pretty neat here now. This is a lot of fun. Just taking these shiners, drifting them along behind the boat, and working that little stick bait deliberate. And to me, this is a ball, I can tell you what, right now. Nice fish. I mean, you know, it's not a 10-pound shiner fish like you see so many people catch on television, but that's a nice bass. I don't care who you are. And I can promise you, this fat boy had a good time catching him, shiner or whatever. Get back in there.
Coming up, Lake Erie smallmouth.
Not bad, not bad, not bad. Not a giant. There's a lot of fish right there. Yeah, there is. A lot of fish.
But next, tricks of the trade.
Tell you something that I've picked up on this year is colored worm hooks.
Cradling dense layers of high-strength fiberglass, this mold sits motionless for what can seem an eternity, slowly nurturing the form inside. Here, there are no shortcuts, for this mold is the birthplace of a Ranger boat, and the extra time each boat spends in here makes all the difference in the performance of the boat out there. Ranger boats, we still build them one at a time.
When it comes to fishing, everything's got to be just right, from what goes on the end of my line to what goes in the bottom of my boat. For me, that's Delco Voyager batteries with built-in charge indicators. Deep cycling and high cranking the whole time I'm out.
Delco Voyager batteries. Deep cycling, high cranking.
No other batteries get on board my boat.
Delco Voyager batteries are available at everyday low prices at Kmart across the USA.
This little fish, he won't hurt your line. But this fish, hey, she'll do a world of hurt to your line. That's why I fish Berkeley Tri-Lane. It's super strong.
Sharper, stronger. What a catchy combination. New AccuPoint fish hooks, 20% stronger with chemically sharpened points. From Mustad, the fish hook people.
Here's one of Hank's tricks of the trade.
You know, we talk about fishing with a plastic worm, which is probably one of the most popular bass baits that there is. There's a lot of different worms on the market, a lot of different sizes, and a million different colors. But the tip that I've got for you today is there's a new product on the market that Mustad's came out with. It's really not a new product. It's the same hook. It's got a sharper point than before, but it comes in a variation of colors, black and blue and red and purple, and you can match most worms on the market. I mean, whatever color they are, that's your basic colors, and you can use that hook. I use a color-coordinated slip sinker and a purple hook on this particular worm with this tequila sunrise color, and you got a good match, and that camouflages that hook. I like to use a big hook for the most part. I like a big bite in the fish. I feel like I have a better chance of catching a big fish. So I use a 4/0 or a 5/0. But most hooks come in a real bright color or a gold or a brown color, and they stand out. And this color-coordinated hook helps camouflage it in the worm. So I think it'll help you catch a few fish. You might want to try it.
For more of Hank's tricks of the trade, just write us in Denver, North Carolina, 28037. Or pick up a copy of Bassin Magazine.
That's what we're looking for. There's a better fish. There we go. All right. What we are looking Nice for. Fish. Pull that drag out fish. Do it. Lake Erie smallmouth. Well, they really do pull. I can't get over that. See, now, did you notice that these fish are fatter, but they don't fight as hard as the ones in the river? Yeah, Niagara River, I've caught some.
a hell of a fish.
This kind of fun here. I could probably pick that fish up, but I won't. I got 6-pound line on there. Ah, man, that is a fat.
Yeah, there's one.
That is a big.
Whoa! That's what we're here for, son.
That's a sport model there.
Now, all I got to do is get him to the boat. This is some 6 on here, too, and don't want to hurry him. Whoa, baby!
I was going to compare, but if you can take that much time, I better put this big boy
He wants
back.
to go back down, I think.
Had to put him back.
Doesn't go. Here he comes again. There he goes! Wow!
Isn't that incredible?
I hate getting excited about this.
Oh, I know. That's awful, isn't it?
I wish I was home watching TV or something.
Oh, we could be doing so many things. Ooh, man, that's a pretty fish. Pretty fish.
Yeah.
All right. Come on, I want to get close to the camera. I want them to see that fish. What will that fish weigh?
He's a good 3.5, I'd say.
Oh, he looks 4 to me. I don't know, though. You're a judge of that, I guess. If he was mine, he'd weigh 4 pounds.
He just
that fish will weigh 4 pounds. Oh, no
thanks.
question.
I like to let you guess
Yeah,
that.
no question. That fish will weigh 4 pounds. That is a beautiful
One
fish.
thing we have to really watch when we fish them with 6-pound line is people don't think the bass have big teeth, but they have some real sharp sandpaper type teeth, and if they suck that gitsit or that grub too far in their mouth, they'll snap that 6 real fast.
Oh, that is that pretty. Hey, we're fishing with Captain Jim Hanley. Jim is a Coast Guard approved guide. He's got his captain's license. So we're out here on Lake Erie in the ocean, it seems like to me. You're used to all this, man.
Calm day today.
This is mind-boggling. But we're catching some smallmouth, so we're going to stick around out here a little while and bob around out here like a bobber. And Jim's going to let me catch one like that.
Sure, sounds good.
You promise?
Yes, sir.
Release that fish over here where the camera can't see it and make them sick. Boy, that's a pretty fish.
Sure is. All right, let's catch another
we
one.
need to crank up and bump back to our buoy.
All right, let's do it.
If we can ever find it again. Oh, this fish doesn't want to go down, Jim. Is it because we took it out of such deep water?
Such deep water, yeah, because coming out of 30 feet, his swim bladder will
what can we do to help it?
Puff him up. Well, if he's not going to go down, he may end up being dinner.
No, surely. We ought to be able to revive him. There he goes. There he goes. There he goes. He's in good shape. All right.
All right.
My good deed for today. Yeah.
Let's go try and find our marker.
All right, let's find that marker. There's
Somewhere
current. You
around
don't realize you got current like this. It's mind-boggling. You start out, and you're right at your buoy, and the next thing you know, you're 200 or 300 yards.
Presenting Mustad's new Ultra Snell. Where? A walleye's thoughts exactly. Invisible snelled hooks with extra fine longer leader and flatted eyeless hooks. He'll never know what hit him.
This little guy can't hurt your line. But this big guy can destroy your line. So I use Berkeley Trilene. It's super strong.
Humminbird asked us pros, the Humminbird sports team, to tell you about the all-new TCR. Good looking, right? Well, as a world-class angler, I can tell
Jimmy, TCR is the first high-definition depth sounder with 455 kilohertz.
And the TCR ID1 even shows fish in red.
Plus, it has an easy-to-use control panel.
Lucky for him.
And it has an all-in-one mounting and connector system, right, Jimmy?
Thanks, guys. The new high-definition TCR depth sounders from Humminbird. Absolutely brilliant technology.
This is a commercial for affordable, high-quality Kelly tires. Unless, of course, you happen to believe you've got to spend a lot of money to buy a great tire. In which case, this is a commercial for a bridge. Kelly, a good deal on a great tire.
1989 Angler of the Year, 88 U.S. Open champion.
I never, ever go fishing without it.
88 Angler of the Year, 3-time Bassmasters Classic champion.
It can make the difference between winning and losing.
83 Bass Angler of the Year, 89 and 79's Classic champion.
I can't imagine being on the water without it.
The world's best anglers agree. Sparkle Scales, the championship fish formula.
There he is. I'm gonna try and hold us this time.
Oh yeah, mama. Nice fish, nice fish.
Hey, you're right. A big one too.
Mm-hmm. Don't want to hurry him with 6 pound.
Hurry him. Speed him up. Gas him. Isn't it funny how it's different when you're fishing for fun and fishing a tournament? You'd be a nervous wreck right now. I'd be nervous anyway.
I'd be shot.
I missed one right there messing with you.
This is the alternate way to pick them up, Hank.
Is it?
Instead of lipping them, just put your hand under their belly and they just go limp. Nice fish. Bye.
You know, last year we came up here to Erie. Well, not here, I should say. We were at Port Clinton, Ohio, which is, what, 150, 200 miles from here.
That way, right.
Along that way.
Along that way.
Yeah, a long way. But we were catching them in the spring, you know, around the islands and things. And I was told then that you get out in the middle of the lake in the summertime. I mean, just like we are here, right, just miles from shore, and just find any kind of little hump like this.
That's it.
And there's smallmouth on it.
That's it. That's the pattern.
Now, is there one specific hump out here? I mean, we came straight here. Is this a unique place, or is there a lot of places like this in Lake Erie? It's got this kind of fishing.
Well, there's a lot of places like this, but we came right to this particular area because this is always dependable. There's a large, it's almost a mountain out here. It's very large. It's probably about half a mile in diameter. Right where we're fishing drops from about 17 feet into about 25 feet. That rapid drop is where the fish hang.
Right, I see that. But this is not that unusual. I mean, this is a pattern. You can go all throughout. I mean, I'm looking at probably 50 miles right here. And you can go out here and find all these little humps out here and take a grub or a Gibson or a little stingray grub like you're using there and catch them.
Catch them. Just find that rise in the bottom, any change. A break line. Instead of a weed bed, you find a hump or a big rock and there'll be fish on it.
That's wild.
Whoa, good fish. All right.
Boy, that is a good one. In a little sun. That's a good one, Jim.
Here he comes. Whoa! Nice job.
Well, I cannot believe a fish no bigger than that can pull that hard.
Yeah, they do pull, don't they?
Huh? Just stay down there, big boy.
Whoa! Looks good.
Well, this is no fun, you know. This is not any fun.
That's a chunky little fish you got there, huh?
Oh, man. No fun at all. God, I can't believe that. Oh,
nice one.
that is a nice fish, isn't it?
Way to go.
Yo. How about
solid?
Huh?
Good solid fish.
I mean, solid.
He's been eating good all summer, hasn't he?
Yeah, sir. What do you weigh, 11 pounds, 12 pounds?
Something like that.
Yeah. Nice fish.
It's your show, as big as you want him to be, Hank.
Thank you. I've tried to figure out a way to make them look bigger on television. I can't do it. I think if I could lose about 100 pounds, you know. Come here. Oh. How about that? Oh. That's a good one. You know, they don't give up easy.
Whoa!
They really don't give up easy.
No, they sure don't. Hank, you don't, you don't want to stop. Hank, you know what they say a fisherman is, don't you?
What is a fish?
It's a jerk at one end of the line waiting for a jerk at the other end of the line?
Yeah. He doesn't know he's not big. He don't know he's not a big boy. You know, I saw a cartoon the other day, and there was the caption was the two fish swam to each other, and one said, "Yeah, I had a big one on a while ago, but I couldn't get him out of the boat."
I like that.
In recent tests, Mercury Bass engines placed first in top speed, acceleration, and fuel efficiency. Proof that we build engines for two types of fishermen. Those who love to win, and those who hate to lose.
When it comes to fishing, everything's got to be just right, from what goes on the end of my line to what goes in the bottom of my boat. For me, that's Delco Voyager batteries with built-in charge indicators. Deep cycling and high cranking the whole time I'm out.
Delco Voyager batteries. Deep cycling, high cranking.
No other batteries get on board my boat.
Delco Voyager batteries are available at everyday low prices at Kmart across the USA.
Quiet. That's the reason I use Minn Kota trolling motors. But I never used foot pedals until they invented this power drive motor with its micro-touch remote control. Now I can stand on both feet and run my Minn Kota power drive with a touch of my toe. Hey, that's a breakthrough in bass boat control. The Minn Kota power drive is a remote control motor I've wanted for a long time with the quiet power that catches fish.
Ever wish you could cast a country mile? Now you can. The original Country Mile or new Country Mile spinning reel. Cast one.
I tell you, you don't realize what we've been through to shoot this show. I mean, we came out here this afternoon we put the boat in about 4 o'clock. We've been up here for 3 days waiting on the wind to let up. We got up this morning to go. The winds didn't start really laying until about 2 o'clock, so we waited until about 4, and it's in good shape. If you could have seen this place this morning, you wouldn't have believed it. I mean, 8-foot waves. About 2 o'clock, it started to lay. And we came out here, probably didn't get on this spot, what, Jim, 5 o'clock?
5 o'clock, right.
Here it is about 15 till 8. And we did this whole segment right here, just up and down this little island. So it's incredible fishing, but you got to get it right, you know. Normally, I guess in August and July, you really don't have the problem, or do you, Jim, with the wind like we've had?
It's not usually this bad, Hank. This is really an exception.
I guess the hurricane.
I think that's what it is.
Well, it's been great, Jim. I really appreciate you having me up and being my guide for the day.
It was a real pleasure, Hank. It's better to fish with you than against you.
I appreciate that. Hey, thank you for being with me today. I hope you enjoyed it. God bless you. I'm Hank Parker.
Hank's Show has been brought to you in part by Berkeley Tri-Lead, super strong fishing line. Delco Voyager available at Kmart. The quality you need, the price you want. Humminbird, absolutely brilliant technology. Tangle-free Johnson reels, cast a country mile. A good deal on a great tire. Kelly tires. Minn Kota, the quiet power that catches fish. Ranger boats, we still build them one at a time. And by Abu Garcia. Mercury Outboards. Polaroid. And Sparkle Scales Fish Formula.
fuss at you all the time on television. Say, every time you guys get a fish, you say, oh, nice fish or big fish. What are you going to say? Oh, little fish, bad fish. It's hard to come up with new terms to describe a fish. It's hard to do. I mean, you just can't say a whole lot. I mean, it's just nice fish, good fish, all big fish, all little fish. That's about it. I'm sorry. That's all I can give you. I'll leave you with that thought. It's getting dark out here.
Tracker unleashes a new legend.
You're watching TNN.
With dozens of liquid crystal sonars to choose from these days, it's difficult to know which LCG to buy, how much to spend, what features are important, and finally how to put those features to work out on the water. Some of America's best-known fishermen have helped answer those questions in an exciting new buyer's guide video. All Fish Finders Are Not Created Equal is an action video from Eagle, packed with helpful on-the-water sonar tips. Call toll-free and order your copy now, only $12.95.
What kind of drive does it take to succeed?
Poverty was the greatest motivating factor in my life.
You know, if I make my mind up I'm going to do something, I just do it, you know, by golly, no matter what.
Lorianne Crook examines the past and the present with Larry Gatlin and the Gatlin brothers, Jimmy Dean, and Holly Dunn on Celebrities Offstage. Thursday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern on the Nashville Network.
You love trucks? We got them on Truckin' USA, Sundays on TNN.
Bill Dance Outdoors is brought to you by Walmart. Low prices on the brands you trust, always. By Daiwa. Rods and reels made for each other. Ranger boats. We still build them one at a time. By Minn Kota, the quiet power that catches fish. Eagle, above all the rest. And by Strike King Lure Company, manufacturers of the world's #1 spinner baits.
Here's America's best-known fisherman, Bill Dance.
You know, generally speaking, the colder the water, the slower the bass fishing. That's why wintertime is a great time to gear up for spring. How about a bigger Polino tackle box, or this Eagle Fish ID depth finder, or that new long-handled Iowa rod you've been wanting? For everything from trolling motors to life vest and everything in between, come on, let's go to Walmart, where you'll always find the low price on the brands you trust. Always.
Compared to the noise of a gas outboard, any electric fishing motor seems quiet. But some electrics still frighten fish, while Minn Kota doesn't. No wonder 3 out of 4 fishermen choose Minn Kota. For the quiet power that catches fish.
Mercury presents the smoothest running outboards on the water.
Think of it as 50 years of power and performance as applied to a morning of peace and quiet.
Now there's a spinnerbait that can be fished where others cannot go. Strike King's new 1-ounce Pro model features a unique new grass bell bearing guard, which puts an end to clogged bearings and keeps the blade spinning through the thickest cover. Further casts, greater depth control, and a choice of flashy Tennessee Diamond or Diamond Willow Leaf blades, all combined to make the new Pro model create big fish appeal.
There ain't nothing like that Tennessee Diamond blade.
You know, there are many reasons that bass pull away from the shoreline. One could be a weather change, another sunlight penetration, another is that the forage is a shade deeper, another could be a few cooler degrees in water temperature, or even a drop or rise in pH. Whatever the reason, they'll do it, and they will continue to do so when changes occur. Today, they've done just that, and the reason is a weather change, or I should say a change in the barometric pressure. Shallow water fish are always more affected with this, much more than deeper fish. But in an off-colored environment like we have here, bass will be shallower and will invariably relate to cover or ease out to a little bit deeper depth from the shoreline to a drop-off. And one of the best drops is a secondary bank, maybe a point or shallow bar or ridge. This morning, I'd like for you to join me and my lifelong fishing buddy, Charles Spence, president and owner of Strike King Lure Company, as we try our luck fishing one of his latest new lures, a 1-ounce spinnerbait on some mighty temperamental bass. Now let me show you how we've got it rigged and how we'll be fishing it. As I mentioned, we're experimenting with Strike King's new 1-ounce spinnerbait. This is the Tennessee Diamond version with an oversized blade that helps balance this heavyweight bait. Now this bait does have a place, and it's an excellent bait to throw out, get to the bottom quick, and hug the bottom as you work it along. And what we've done with it, we've extended the bait by putting this strike hide to the back of the lure, and we've attached a trailer hook. Fish have a tendency to short strike a bait in off-colored water, but the fluorescent color shows up extremely well. The vibration that this particular blade puts out does a fantastic job. A fish has got to see it to eat it. He first picks up the vibration from the blade, zeroes in on the sound, and then he picks up the color. And as I said, by extending the bait, what it does, it makes a bigger image in the water. So that's the particular bait we're going to be fishing, and the way we're going to be fishing it is sitting in shallow, throwing out into the deeper water. Now, I didn't say deep water, I said deeper water. We're going to cast it out, let it go to the bottom, and we're going to be fishing irregular features along the shoreline. We're just going to flip-flop the bank. When the fish aren't in, where are they going to be? They're either going to be out a little bit further, a little bit shallower. More than likely, if fish that were into the bank, there could be fish here. There could be fish right there and not hitting. But as a result of multiple changes, as we mentioned a minute ago, these fish move out into a little bit deeper water. So what we're going to be doing is fishing the irregular features, the first irregular features off of the shoreline. And the way we're going to be fishing it, like I said, we're going to cast the bait out, let the bait fall down to the bottom in about 6, 8, 10 feet of water. And then kind of pump it up real quick to get that blade turning, and we're just going to kind of slow roll it, keeping it real close to the bottom as we work it along. Every once in a while, we may just stop it and let it fall back to the bottom to stay in contact to the bottom. But we're going to crawl it right back out of deeper water up on these irregular features. That bait's falling about a foot a second.
About a foot a second. Old big blade, you can really feel it coming, it's going down there too. There he is, right there too.
He's laying right on it.
Right, laying right on top of it, wasn't it? Boy, it's all gone right there, it's pulling too.
Golly. And you ever caught? That's a good fish. Good night. I see you down there. Good Lord. He's coming up.
Come here, big boy.
Watch him jump up there and throw it.
He ain't gonna throw nothing. He's gonna got his head thrown out.
That's a chunky
About
one, ain't
that, son.
Turn him around this way. That's a nice fish. All day long. Look right there on that fish. Turn him sideways. See these little old things? Whoop. Those anchor worms.
See what that is?
Uh-huh.
Look at his eye right there.
Fish is blind in that eye. Look at this.
I tell you where else he's blind too.
Yeah.
He's blind in his mouth. He just got jerked pretty good. It's a nice fish right there now. I'd like to catch about 10 like that this season. Go back down and tell you the rest of them where you are.
Tell your buddies that Bubba's up here. That Bubba's up here waiting for one. Waiting for another one.
I'm ready for another too. Now, how about that? About 10 more times.
A couple to suit me. We'll go.
Right there in that same spot, wouldn't he? Oh, look at here.
It's over. Oh, you got to be careful. That trailer hook, the big hook got him. Trailer hook's got him in the bottom of the face. Can you believe this? I got him locked up.
You got him hooked at every angle you can hook it,
I got him backwards. See that red sore?
Yeah.
Right there on his tail?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that ain't. That's anchor worm. All up and down him. Right there. Some right there.
Look on his back up there. Some on his back, too.
Yeah, those right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Things like a cowbell. Here.
Hand me just a little bit of that juice, will you? Now we fix to get back down there where we can do some business. I got that juice down there now. Give him a taste of that right there, or smell of it. Gun right there. That's what we're looking for there, ain't it, son?
Yeah. Where you gonna go with?
Well, he's fat, isn't he?
He is fat.
I said she's fat. That's a good fish right there, boy. I mean, a good one.
Big old gut on him. You ought to see it. I got him hooked. Trailer got him right back here in the tough part of the mouth.
Good 6-7 pound fish right there. Look how chunky he is.
He's a fat one. Watch him go.
He's gone.
Here's America's America's best-known fisherman, Bill Dance.
Whoever said different strokes for different folks must have been a fisherman. When it comes to fishing rods, you first need to decide what type of rods you want. Spinning, spin cast, bait cast, or fly. Next, pick an action, light, medium, or heavy. Then decide between fiberglass or graphite. Well, that's a lot of decisions to make. So let's make where you buy your rods easy. Walmart, where you'll always find the low price on the brands you trust. Always.
Never before has there been a fishing line for bait casters like the new Magnum 720 and 1440 oval-shaped lines from DuPont. Magnum 720 casts like a 7-pound, but is really a 20-pound line. And Magnum 1440 has 14-pound flexibility with 40-pound strength. Tough enough to bring big fish out of the heaviest structure. The super strong Magnum lines for bait casters only. Only from DuPont.
Sure, I've got a G&B Pro Marine battery. Why? Been fishing a few years now and like to get out whenever I can. And spend some time on the water. So, I need a good battery. Uh-oh. You don't catch many of these sitting on the dock. To spend a little more time on the water, get a little more battery. Just look for the mark of a pro. G&B Pro Marine. Anything else is for, well, you know what I mean. How do you make your old spinning reel cast a lot further? Easy. Just replace it with this Daiwa long cast reel, like this Samurai reel I'm using. See how long that spool is? Its shape is computer designed for longer cast with even the lightest lures. So visit your Daiwa dealer and check out Daiwa's long cast reels and matching rod. First cast, you'll see what you've been missing. The cameraman didn't notice, but that's his reel. It just drowned.
There he is. What do you got?
Woo. He jumped up good. See you, big boy. What you got there?
I got me one of these little darlings coming up fixing. Whoa, come back here. Don't get knocked out. Don't let that blade knock you in the head.
Why don't you go down on your knees on him?
Well, he wasn't big enough to pull me down there. He's just a little boy.
Are you going over the ridge?
Over it, right over the top of it.
Now, there's some real deep water right out here. Now, that water's deeper than any 9 or 10 feet. It drops off. It's got a pretty good drop. It drops into about 20 and then comes right up on 5 right in here.
Right
yeah,
there.
But it slopes back up, coming off this point right here to my right.
Mm-hmm.
But it slopes out that way, and once you climb up on it, you can just ride that spinnerbait right up. Just follow the contour of it right on up. There he is. Coming up right. Little fella.
Well, there's more than one in that hole, isn't it? Finally. All right.
Trailer hook got him right in the side of his face.
I'm gonna tell you something, he's hot, ain't he?
Yeah, he's hot. Wouldn't you be?
Yeah, I'd be hot. Somebody stuck me like that in the mouth. Oh, don't get so sassy there.
That's a big old gutted fish.
Yeah,
Turn around, let's see. Yeah, big old stomach on him.
I'm gonna tell you something, if you don't think that fish ain't powerful.
Let's see it, big old stomach on him.
Well, I'll tell you
like
what,
yours.
he bent that wire on that bait, didn't he? I mean, bent it good, too. That fish was about 10 feet deep. Right there where you sit on the side of that ledge.
The water is about 10 feet on the back side, but you're coming up on about anywhere from 3.5 to 5 feet.
Is that shallow right here on top?
I'm starting. I'm climbing up it right now.
Yeah.
See the advantage to that bait, it's heavy and you can keep it down.
Well, that's exactly
It'll stay
right.
down. Most spinner baits have the tendency to want to ride up. Now, the real key, of course, I'm using this bigger blade, this Tennessee blade, and the shape of that blade does make the bait want to ride high. But I can make one change, which I may do here shortly. I can take the willow spin, this particular blade, it turns faster, has less resistance, and it's going to stay deeper. You can fish it much deeper, and the bait's going to stay deeper. Where a bigger blade like this has a tendency to make the bait want to rise to the surface. And the advantage of fishing the way we're fishing, we're throwing out deep, bringing the bait shallow. So as this particular bait rises, it's not as important. It would be extremely critical if we were deep, throwing shallow, trying to keep it deep, because it'd keep wanting to ride up. The advantage, really, that's the bait to be using to keep a bait extremely deep, is the willow blade. And that's all I'm going to say about that, but I'm going to throw this a little bit more. Another advantage to that particular blade, you can fish it much slower. You've got to move because it's got more water resistant to it as a result of the shape of the blade. Where the willow blade spins much faster, you've got to move it a little bit faster to keep it turning. But when fish are active, I don't think it matters. I think they'll hit either one of them. Look right here, this dog. The trailer hook's the only thing that's got him. Look at him. One more jump and he should get off. I don't guess so. That trailer
He
hook.
just barely got him.
Let me just touch you. Let me just touch you. Look at that. That's cheating. Just barely had him.
I'll tell you one thing.
That ain't bad, is it?
That's...
No, Bill. Watch Uncle Bill, Bubba.
Watch Uncle Bill, Bubba.
That's right. Watch Uncle Bill, Bubba.
There he is. Boy, he hit it close to the boat. Look at that dog pull right there, Bill.
Ooh-wee. Let me get my toy out of the way here.
I'll tell you something. That's a good fish there, too.
Come on with him.
Come here, big boy. Whoa. Come here. Come over here to me.
Oh, he just wants to cut up big time, doesn't he?
That's what...
Sound like
I'm gonna tell you something
back here. These jets.
Plane's kind of coming over. But he feels like he's been bombed, doesn't he?
Yep.
I'm gonna tell you something. That's hard to beat right there, isn't it?
I know it is.
Is that a good way to end or start or do anything?
It's a good way to end. Say goodbye, everybody.
I'm not going anywhere.
I ain't either.
I ain't going anywhere. I'm going right back out there in that hole right there. As soon as I get my hands washed off, get back in there.
Let me ask you something. In your opinion, what is it about a spinnerbait that attracts fish to strike it? And you've made millions of those baits. And you've heard probably umpteen billion reasons from fishermen all over the country. What would you say? What is it about a spinnerbait that attracts fish to strike it?
The two key factors in a spinnerbait, one's flash and one's vibration. The vibration qualities of a bait is like a fish is laying in cover. If something comes by that fish and it's flashing and vibrating, out of instinct, he's gonna roll out and get it. But flash and vibration are definitely the two key factors in a spinnerbait catching fish. The more vibration you got, the more flash you got, the better off you are.
Well, I'm not telling you anything I hadn't told you a G times before. You know, if a fisherman's got confidence in copper or brass, let's say in murky water, that's the bait or the finish that he should use on a particular bait. My personal preference has always been silver. silver is going to reflect more than any other color or any other finish. And that's very, very important. In a clear water environment, it's extremely important. In a murky environment, when you're fishing shallow, vibration, the closer you have it to the sunlight or to the surface of the water, the more reflection you're going to have. But if I had one blade to select the majority of the time, it's going to be the silver blade, simply because the silver is going to reflect more than any other combination.
Here's America's best-known fisherman, Bill Dance.
You know, your line is the most vital link between you and your fish. Your rod and reel are useless unless your line will hold your catch. My advice, you just can't beat DuPont Magna-Thin fishing line for greater strength and longer cast. Match it with a Daiwa Samurai graphite rod and a Daiwa Blackwood bait casting reel. Get them all at Walmart, where you'll always find the low price on the brands you trust. Always.
Patent number 4,760,811. With over a mile of compressed fiberglass, it's built to do one thing. Absorbing tremendous shock and stress, it's built to do one thing. From the stump beds of a nearby lake to the constant pounding of a stormy encounter, the patented all-fiberglass transom from Ranger Boats is built to do just one thing. Last and last and last and last.
Today, more than ever, there is a concern over ticks and mosquitoes. Using an effective insect repellent is a must. The only name in insect repellents is Repel. Repel Family Formula is effective scented protection for the entire family. Repel Sportsman Formula is unscented, extra strong, extra long protection. The DEET ingredient in Repel is recommended by the National Lyme Borreliosis Foundation.
Now there's a spinnerbait that can be fished where others cannot go. Strike King's new 1-ounce Pro model features a unique new grass bell bearing guard, which puts an end to clogged bearings and keeps the blade spinning through the thickest cover. Further casts, greater depth control, and a choice of flashy Tennessee Diamond or Diamond Willow Leaf blades, all combined to make the new Pro model create big fish appeal.
There ain't nothing like that Tennessee Diamond blade.
Hi, I'm Florence Henderson, and I'm sitting here with the fabulous Shirley Muldowney, one of the world's greatest race car drivers, and also one of the world's greatest cooks. And she's made for us Shirley's mom's macaroni, and I hope you folks will tune in and watch us. That's good, Shirley. Yes, it is good. Thanks, Mom.
Race to the Country Kitchen with Shirley Muldowney, Wednesday on the Nashville Network.
Bill Dance Outdoors has been brought to you in part by Strike King Lure Company, manufacturers of the world's #1 spinnerbaits. Walmart, low prices on the brands you trust, always. Mercury Marine, run Merc, run proud. DuPont Power Lines, Magnum, Magnathin, Prime Plus, Stren, and new high-impact lines. Repel, family and sportsman insect repellent, and bait-made fish attractants. G&V Incorporated, makers of the Pro Marine line of batteries, Stowaway, Action Pack, and Super Crank. Always look for the mark of a pro. We would also like to thank these other fine sponsors. Chevrolet Trucks, the official vehicles of Bill Dance Outdoors. Remember, today's truck is Chevrolet. By Plano Molding, Lake Systems Combo Selector, Fisher Marine, and Cellular One.
Sports Sunday on TNN, it's highlights of the top fuel, funny car, and pro stock competition at the NHRA Mopar Mile High Nationals in Denver. It's all here Sunday at 3 and 7 Eastern on TNN.
Now's the perfect time to enjoy the splendor of the Opryland Hotel. Inside, plants are blooming, the sun is shining, and the nights are more affordable than ever. For a limited time, you can surround yourself, your spouse, or your whole family with the tradition of the Opryland Hotel and pay only $79 per room per night. Plus, you can see other famous Nashville attractions like the Ryman Auditorium. Enjoy our fine restaurants or tap your toes to lively entertainment in one of the Opryland Hotel's exciting night spots. Plan your getaway soon. This $79 rate is only available February 9th, 10th, 17th, 23rd, and March 16th, and space is limited. There's good times, great shopping and fun, and so much more just waiting for you. So come to the Opryland Hotel, bring the family, and experience the wonder of this Music City, USA tradition. The Opryland Hotel. For information and reservations, call 615-883-2211.
Singer-songwriter Paul Overstreet on stage Monday on TNN.
Definitely gaining